Let's go.
I don't know how to use
Paint.
and that's what I got my degree in, is in Microsoft Paint.
The fake degree.
All
I
right,
hope
shut up. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Halftime Adjustments podcast. Derek, Luis, and Colton here. Luis and Colton are both little gremlins they're both at home right now. So
this is a spooky edition.
it's only spooky for you because you're outside.
It's 12 p.m.
Oh yeah,
It
okay,
is
yeah,
not-
but yeah, everybody.
I guess a.m. 12 a.m.
It's not 12 a.m. yet. It's 11:45 at night.
Almost. Okay.
Pitch black.
Almost.
We're in the middle of the night.
I literally see a gremlin in front of me right now.
That's just your reflection.
You're ugly.
Welcome back, everybody. Today we're doing a midnight version of the Halftime Adjustments podcast. We got a great show ahead for you guys today. We're going to be doing a mock draft, so that's going to be really exciting to get into. But before we do that, I want to real quick get your guys' thoughts on Brandon Ayuk's stuff, because like that needs to be discussed. Kind of, I think. I mean, to me, I think that needs to be discussed because that's something that could impact fantasy. So Brandon Ayuk requested a trade from the 49ers, for those of you that don't know, and there's 5 potential destinations for Brandon Ayuk, and I want to get your guys' thoughts as to which spot he's like, where he would excel the most. So the first spot would be the Pittsburgh Steelers, the second would be the Washington Commanders, the third would be the New England Patriots, fourth would be the Los Angeles Chargers, and then the fifth place would be the Buffalo Bills. Out of those 5 fellas, which one do you think he would excel the most at?
So, sure, here's a question. What team is he going to realistically? I think realistically he's going to the Patriots. I think he's going to the Patriots. Realistically. Will he exceed with the Patriots? I think he will.
Here's the thing with Brandon Ayuk's status. Like, I don't know. I feel like we saw this recently with like Deebo Samuel or something, and Deebo Samuel's still with the 49ers. I think realistically though, I would love to see him on the Washington Commanders, just with the new quarterback over there, and like with Jaden Daniels. Like, I feel like they would be really explosive out there, and like he would do really well. But I don't know. That's just my opinion. I feel like that would be the most exciting place for him to land, is the Washington Commanders.
Yeah, I have to agree. I think the most realistic option is that he stays. Both the Chargers and the Bills had to cut about $40 million in cap space this past season just to get under the salary cap. So unless they're going to do that again to pay a wide receiver probably somewhere in the ballpark of $28 to $32 million a year, I don't see those teams making any sort of move for him. The Commanders have the space, and I'm not sure if y'all saw this. I'm not sure what his connection is to Jaden Daniels, but he did post a Instagram story with him FaceTiming him, saying like they need to be on the same team. So they have some sort of connection. This came out like a month ago. He posted that, and then he's requested a trade. So that's a team that has the capital to do so. It's a team that could trade Terry McLaurin as a pick swap if they want, like a player-for-player deal, because McLaurin has not a super inflated salary, and they have a connection with the quarterback and wide receiver already. And most importantly, they have cap space.
But I feel like you want to keep McLaurin with them. That way you can have 2 dynamic threats.
Sure, but that's if San Francisco doesn't want something back. It's all dependent on what San Francisco asks for, because he's a premier talent. They're going to ask for a high pick or player in return. So if Shanahan wants McLaurin,
he still has 2 years left of his contract?
Scary Terry?
No, Ayuk.
I'm actually not sure. I don't have his numbers in front of me.
Yeah, I mean, he finished last year was his best year. I mean, he had 75
Oh yeah, I
receptions,
did.
7 touchdowns, and 1,300 yards. So that was definitely his best year. That was probably a little under half of his total NFL career yards, or what he produced last year. But yeah, I think realistically, I do see a world where the 49ers just like wait up until like the end of camp to re-sign him. I feel like this guy's going to be a 49er again, but I think the best place that I could see him at would be with the Washington Commanders. So, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
agreed. This is
Yeah,
the
'cause
last year
I
of his
don't.
contract, by the way. So
Okay,
he's
yeah,
an
because I don't
unrestricted free
think.
agent.
Yeah, I don't think the 49ers are gonna have enough money to pay Ayuk. They got amazing defense. They got amazing offense. They're gonna pay. Or they already pay McCaffrey. They're gonna pay Brock Purdy whenever his rookie contract is up. Uh, Bosa. They got Chase Young now. No, they won't pay him that much, but they have a lot of weapons, so they got to pay all of them. They got
Mm,
to pay a bunch of people. Their offensive line. They got to pay their offensive line, and because they're one of the best offensive line in the league, so they're getting money. Where's that money coming from? Nah, you telling Ayuk.
Yeah, he's going to double his salary. He's making 14 million this year, and he's going to go up to probably, I would guess, around 30 million is his bar. Justin Jefferson got 35, so I don't think he'll take under 30. Um, and it's probably going to be a 4 or 5 year contract. So not something that I see happening.
yeah, I do think that like fantasy wise, this will affect him in the. It just really affects him fantasy wise, to be honest, because like I feel like if he does stay with the 49ers, that's the best case scenario for him, and that's the best
Yeah,
case scenario for like fantasy production. But um, I feel like this really just lowers his ADP, and like it might make him like fall down in the rankings a little bit, which is actually a good thing for people that are higher on Brandon Ayuk. So I mean, in the long run, I think it's better ADP wise for Brandon Ayuk.
yeah, agreed. He'll be good value for somebody.
Hmm.
Especially, I mean, in redraft, I don't know that it affects him that much, but especially in keeper and dynasty format, it has a heavy impact on him.
Right. Well,
I'm back.
that was the main bit of news that I wanted to talk about. Was just that there is another bit of news where Jordan Addison got DUI, I think, or something
Yep.
something
Oh,
happened with
I
him.
did see that.
Um, I mean, this is actually kind of big. I mean, people are pretty high on Jordan Addison. I'm not too high on him just because of the whole quarterback situation that happened over there. But I do see how like just be wary if you are high on Jordan Addison. Just watch out for that because he might be suspended from this. We don't know yet. It's kind of a similar situation to the Rashi Rice thing. So,
Yeah, I don't know what's
um,
happening there.
all right, then without further ado, let's get into this fantasy mock draft.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yes. It's going to be a 10-man PPR mock draft. Luis has the number 1 spot, Colton has the number 5 spot, and I am all the way at the number 9 spot. We're going to do 8 players total, 1 QB, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 1 tight end, and 2 flex positions. So we are on the way. Let's start it off with you, Luis. Who are you picking
Oh gosh,
at the
we're on the clock.
number
Well,
1 position?
I think it's an easy pick. You got to go with Christian McCaffrey. I feel like this is easy. CeeDee Lamb. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you got to go
Have
with
you heard
Christian
the prediction?
McCaffrey. The next 3 that go are CeeDee Lamb, Tyreek Hill, Justin Jefferson, and we are at the number 5 spot with you, Colt.
Colton.
So this is an interesting spot because there's one of two ways that I can take it. You have the best wide receiver on the board in Jamar Chase, or you can go running back here which is what I'm going to do in this situation. The reason why I'm going to go running back is because I believe there's a big three this year in Bijan Robinson, Christian McCaffrey, and Brees Hall. I think Christian McCaffrey owners are going to be super let down by taking him early this year. You have two studs in Bijan Robinson and Brees Hall who are young. They don't have a lot of touches, and they've proven to be really, really good. And both of their offensive lines got better. I'm going to go Brees Hall here. I think his upside's
Oh,
pretty strong.
dude. I think that's a reach.
Brees Hall. I'm
I
surprised you
think
didn't
that's a
get. I'm surprised
reach.
you didn't get Bijan Robinson
I
here.
I
I'm
thought you would get
so surprised
Bijan.
you didn't get Bijan here.
Dude, that's a
Mm,
reach. I think that's a reach to me.
I mean, I
you're
If
don't.
we got,
insane if you think it's a
I don't
reach.
think
It's
it's a
definitely not.
reach. I definitely don't
I
think
think
it's
it's
a
a
reach at
reach.
5.
I think it's a reach. Maybe he would
It's a
go
gift that he
late
got to
first.
me.
Yeah, I mean, Brees Hall is usually going around this spot at 5, regardless. And I think I'm just surprised that you didn't get Bijan Robinson because you've been hyping up Bijan Robinson this whole time.
Yeah, I'm surprised too.
I'm very much in on Bijan too. I like them both. I think the offensive line of Green Bay is more promising, and to be quite honest, Bijan he didn't show as much as I thought he was going to in his rookie season, and we have
Wait,
seen
you
it
said
with.
the offensive line of Green Bay or
Oh, sorry, I was thinking
the
because of Aaron Rodgers, the
oh
offensive line
oh the
of the
Jets. Yeah,
Jets.
yeah, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, so they got better. They drafted a really strong offensive lineman, and they signed Tyron Smith.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like that. I like that squad, and like I said, Brees Hall has shown it. His first game, he had 120 something rushing yards on 10 carries, coming off of an ACL,
Oh
and he's
yeah.
23 years old. Give me that guy all
Yeah,
day.
yeah, you just knew like watching him after on that first game that he came back and he just had it. Like he he
He
just
did.
unlocked himself. He was ready to go.
I don't know. To me, I really thought you were gonna pick Bijan. I really thought you were gonna pick Bijan. But hey, cool.
Well,
Notice how he
Colton,
went the next pick.
yeah, Colton went Brees Hall at 6, Bijan Robinson right after 7, Amon-Ra St. Brown 8, Jamar Chase went. So now I'm on the clock at 9. And I really
This is how it
didn't
should go.
think I honestly didn't think, I mean, I guess I did. I didn't think that AJ Brown would get to me here, and I do like AJ Brown this season. I know there's some people that are kind of iffy about him this season. I'm looking at Puka Nakua as well and Garrett Wilson.
Cool.
Uh, dang, this is honestly a tough decision, but I think I have to go AJ Brown here.
That's a good
Simply
pick. I like it.
for the just the upside that Jalen Hurts has and like how well he is and how good of a QB he is. So I feel like I gotta just go for AJ Brown there.
Jameer
Ooh.
Gibbs. Okay.
All right, Jameer
Puka,
Gibbs
now you're
and
back.
Puka Nakua go right
You know what?
after.
I will tell you this. And it seems like there's a scarce number of running backs. There's a lot of receivers on the board. There's not a lot of running backs.
Correct.
Yeah, there's a good amount of
So
receivers still on the board.
so Derek, if I were you, I would have chosen the running back that my first round because since you're going back pretty much back to back, you could have chosen another uh receiver. But it seems like you still pretty good number of running backs left.
Yeah, I do have good like there's a lot of running backs later in the draft that I don't mind getting to. I do see Garrett Wilson here. So Jameer Gibbs and Puka Nakua go right after me at the 10 spot. And now I'm back on the clock with Garrett Wilson, Jonathan Taylor, and Marvin Harrison Jr. in front of me. I do see Saquon Barkley down there too. I just don't.
Having two Eagles in one team.
Yeah, two Eagles in one team. That's a really bad call. Um, I'm looking at Garrett Wilson here. I don't think I would mind Garrett Wilson. I feel like I'm gonna go back to back wide receiver here.
Wow, okay. Okay.
Um,
Very interesting move.
just simply because I feel like I could wait on running back and get something later. I hate it.
You're in a very tough spot, my friend. I'll tell you what, brother.
I think I am gonna go Garrett Wilson here, just simply for the upside with Aaron Rodgers. Hopefully they don't trade Devonte Adams over there.
Oh my
So,
gosh, that'd be horrible.
Dude, that would be amazing. All right,
Saquon,
so
no.
Derek
so
got Garrett Wilson, and then Saquon Barkley was taken right after that. Then the rookie Marvin Harrison and Kyrie Williams. Now Colt, back to
Okay,
you.
this is an easy pick for me. I thought there was a 0% chance that Jonathan
yeah,
Taylor would still be on the board.
yeah, no kidding.
To have two potential number one overall finishing running backs in Brees Hall and Jonathan Taylor is the no-brainer move here. I'm looking at wide receivers. It's a lot of guys who we've talked about as high upside guys, like Drake London, Chris Olave, Brandon Ayuk, Nico Collins. You've definitely dropped off a tier, whereas the running back tier, you still have some strong candidates here. I think we're about to see a run on running backs. I'm going to go ahead and get the top guy who's remaining on the board. That's Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, that's a
Hey,
good
that's a
call.
good pick. That's a good pick. I like it.
It's a good call.
Oh,
Devontae
okay.
Adams, Drake London, Brandon Ayuk go right after you, Colt. So now, Luis, you're back on the clock. You have Christian McCaffrey as your hero RB.
Okay, so just looking at people who are on my roster or left right now. Chris Olave, I'm not too high on him right now. He kind of dropped down a little bit last year, and he's injured. So I'm just gonna skip on him. So, man, you know what? I'm looking at this stud, stud of a tight end right now, Laporta. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Sam Laporta there. I mean, I feel like it would be kind of a reach if you got Sam Laporta here. I don't know, like, if you went, you have two back-to-back picks, so you have two picks basically
Yeah,
right here. So,
yeah.
Yeah, you have a chance.
so you have a couple options here.
You know what? I think.
Yeah, I mean, you're in a tough
So
spot
okay,
here. I feel like this is a tough spot at the number one position right here because I feel like you're not really left with much. Chris Olave, Sam Laporta, Josh Allen are there, Travis Etienne. All these guys are kind of like they're not what you need really. You need a wide receiver.
see, but with that, I think, like you say, like with you talking about running backs, I think I can get a couple good receivers later on, but still, it is pretty tough here.
Go
But
tight
I'm
end.
gonna, but I'm gonna take my gut, and I'm gonna go with HN,
Devon
and I'm gonna go
Achan, Josh
Josh Allen.
Whoa.
Allen. Whoa.
Wow. That is nuts. You took the first quarterback?
Achan and Josh Allen.
Hey, Allen going third, dude. He usually goes first or second.
Nah, he got maybe second. I don't know about first.
Hey, I seen leagues where he's gone first.
Yeah. Well, Sam
Okay.
I
Laporta,
guess.
Travis Etienne, and then goes Chris Olave. So now, Colt, you're back on the clock. You have Brees Hall and Jonathan Taylor.
So my running back duo is set. I got the best running back duo in the league here. If we were starting a league today, um, the wide receivers. This is the range of wide receiver that I don't really like. I'm not sure if y'all are in the same position as I am when it comes to this, but all these guys are big question mark guys.
Yeah.
None of these guys.
Oh
So
yeah, they are.
for the people listening here, this is Nico Collins, Mike Evans, Diggs, DJ Moore, Debo Samuel. Every single one of these people have a question mark next to them.
Yeah.
At least to me, they do, and that includes Michael Pittman and Waddle as well. Um, so I'm going to
Cole,
go
you know
with
who's my favorite?
who? Nico.
No, all of them. I would go with Evans.
See, I'm going to go Kelsey here.
Ah, nice.
He is the safest bet. I build my teams safely. I build my teams off guaranteed production. So I'm going to go Kelsey.
Hey,
See,
but with Evans, he's giving you 1,000 yard season. Like what? Every season?
You're
every
not wrong.
season for sure.
He's
Yeah.
Yeah,
very
every
consistent.
every
Yeah.
season. So
Yeah, he's done it every season.
to me, that's why I thought it would be a safe pick for you. But hey, that's a good pick though.
I,
Little trap Kelko.
I think Travis
Yeah.
Kelsey is he's one of those players that's pretty undervalued right now.
Mm-hmm.
He's going for the cheapest that he's ever gone. like in a
Yeah.
while. He's like in the third. You just got him in the third round. He's usually like in the first round, like top
Yeah, he's
7 type of
normally
guy.
back of the first round, going
Top
into the
second, yeah.
second. That's where you're getting this guy pretty consistent,
Mhm.
and he's coming off his like worst year ever, and he was tight end 6.
Yep.
If that's what he produces, I'm still very happy with this pick.
Right. All right. Josh J. After you picked Travis Kelce, Stephon Diggs went, then Debo Samuel, then Derrick Henry. I was really hoping I could get Derrick Henry here, but unfortunately he didn't fall. I really don't like any of these running backs right here. I feel like I'm reaching so far if I go for a running back here.
Was that the one guy you were wishing you would grab?
Derrick Henry?
Yeah.
Not really. I mean, I'm glad I went 2 wide receivers to start the round or to start the draft. Um, I really wanted to end up with somebody like a Derrick Henry or a Travis Etienne, but I knew those guys probably weren't going to fall to me. Um, right now, ADP wise, I think just Josh Jacobs, he's really high on ADP to me because he's basically in a new system over there, and I just feel like it's so risky to pick somebody that wasn't the best last year either. Um,
I feel that. I feel that.
and I feel like I really want to go. Oh, man, this is tough. Dang, dude, this is a tough one right here. I'm stuck. I'm like looking at Josh Jacobs, Nico Collins, Mike Evans. Um, here's the thing.
And
Here's the thing.
you don't
I
like Pacheco, don't you?
I do like Pacheco. I could grab him here.
I love
Um,
Pacheco.
and I'm leaning that way, but I also don't want to miss out on somebody that I really want to complete the stack with. So I'm gonna go ahead and draft Jalen Hurts here in the third
Ooh,
round.
Wow.
2
All right.
quarterbacks
All
going pretty
right.
early.
So I'm back on the clock. DJ Moore and Josh Jacobs did go. I'm gonna go ahead and play it safe and get Isaiah Pacheco here, so that
Smart.
way
I like
I'm
it. I
not
like it.
stuck without a running back.
It's your
Yeah.
RB1.
So Isaiah
He's a good
Pacheco will be
RB1.
my RB1 here. So Nico Collins, Lamar Jackson,
Lamar
Michael Pittman
Jackson.
go. And
Okay.
now it is back on you, Colt.
This is a hard place to be.
Yeah.
I did not think that these guys would still be on the board.
Yeah.
um, I think Waddle's coming off his worst year, and I don't think it happens again. I'm going to take the upside of Jalen Waddle here. I was debating between he and Patrick Mahomes.
What? I
Uh,
would have. I really would have thought you would pick Mahomes, dude.
I
I
thought so
really
too.
I
thought, especially
yeah, the
him
thing
going in the
is,
fourth round. Mahomes goes in the first round always.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I get it. He's Mahomes, but you've already selected a quarterback. It's likely he goes for sure, but he's not going to go to someone who's drafting. So it's going to be computer if it does happen. Um, with that being said, there's still Stroud on the board. I like a lot of the quarterbacks you can get late in this draft.
Yeah,
There's
I do
still
too.
Herbert. There's still Burrow. There's still some heavy hitters on the board that I can get at a significant discount. So I'm going to go with the Jalen Waddle pick.
Yeah.
There goes my homies.
Well, Jalen Waddle, you picked Mike Evans, then Patrick Mahomes, and Cooper Cup. So
Damn,
you are
I
back on the
was gonna
clock, Lewis.
give Cooper Cup. So this is kind of obvious for me. I'm gonna probably go two receivers.
I wonder who he's
Yeah.
going to pick.
No, I will be pretty smart about this. Um, you know what guy that didn't let me down?
Mike Evans.
No, Devontae Smith.
Ooh, you're taking the wide receiver too.
Devontae Smith, huh?
Yeah, but I know
Like,
DK Metcalf's also on the board.
I just did the same thing. I took Waddle. These wide receiver twos can produce now.
No, you're definitely right, and I know DK Metcalf. What was his? What was? How was his ear? His ear last year? Was it,
It was okay.
It was all right.
average?
Yeah. I mean, it was
He
kind of
finished
middle of
wide
the
receiver
pack.
21.
Yeah, I'm seeing this right now. Yeah, I'm seeing it right now. So last year, actually, last year he did better than. So last year he did better than 2022. I mean, 2001 and 2020, he did amazing. So you know what? I'm gonna take the chance, especially with Smith. I feel like Smith is doing good too with the Seattle
He
Seahawks.
keeps improving.
So yeah, he's doing good. So let's go receiver one and receiver two.
DK Metcalf, Devontae Smith. Next guys that go off the board. Malik Neighbors literally went right after you went. You picked them, Luis.
It's a bummer.
Rashad White, Trey McBride. So now you're back on the clock, Colt. You have Brees Hall, Jonathan Taylor, Travis Kelce, and Jalen Waddle.
So running backs are locked up. I still feel pretty confident where I'm at. There's a guy I've talked about. I'm really in love with him, so I'm not going to let him get by me here.
Pickens.
It's going to be George Pickens.
Wow.
Pickens.
That's so early. But that's
It's
I mean,
not.
I feel like it's early ADP wise. Um
Is it?
I feel like it's a little early ADP wise. I wasn't even thinking about him until like maybe the 7th or 6th round.
Yeah, I think he went a little early too,
But
but honestly,
I do get that you have to get your guys. So like I understand why you did that.
I mean,
looking at the
his
other
ADP was
receivers,
50. His ADP was 54, and it was pick 40. No, it was
no, 55.
pick 55.
Mm.
So I was pretty close to what his ADP is.
Oh, okay. I wasn't too
But
sure. I didn't realize
but
that it was that high.
you know
He's
what
a
though?
riser, y'all. He's definitely a
Looking
riser.
at everybody, all the other receivers though, I think the only other person I would have picked besides George Pickens will be Higgins.
Mm.
I just don't. I personally am not going to. So the whole reason I don't like Higgins is because I already have Waddle and I don't need two wide receiver twos. I
Hey,
think
that's true.
I think Pickens has the opportunity to be the wide receiver one. So I don't want to attach myself to guys who are guaranteed to get second rate volume.
Mm-hmm. Well, I am on the clock now. The guys that went after George Pickens were Joe Mixon, Mark Andrews, and then CJ Stroud. I'm on the clock now. I have AJ Brown, Garrett Wilson, Jalen Hurts, and Isaiah Pacheco on my team so far. It would make sense for me to go James Cook here, but I'm not gonna do that. I really, really want this guy on my team. I think he's the best Texans wide receiver. So I'm gonna go Tank Dell here and reach a little bit for him. So I'm gonna grab him there. Ah, okay.
Back again.
I took a little bit of a gamble there, and I really wanted one of these running backs to come back to me, but they didn't. So Josh Jacobs and then or James Cook and then Kenneth Walker go right after I picked Tank Dell. I really wanted one of these guys. I was hoping Kenneth Walker would come back to me in the 6th round here. This guy already has 4 running backs on his team. I don't understand what his logic there is.
You have flex. You put in two
Yeah,
flex
I
positions.
guess I did, right?
He's flexing out straight running backs.
Yes, I did that to myself. Yeah, I mean, this one's kind of tough. I mean, Alvin Kamara is still on the board. I could get the last available guy here. I do see Dalton Kincaid here. I see Zay Flowers here. I do need a tight end as well, but I do need a running back. And I feel like after Alvin Kamara, there's really a huge drop in running backs here.
Yes,
So
definitely.
yeah, so after Alvin Kamara, it's like Aaron Jones, James Conner, David Montgomery, DeAndre Swift. So I think I will just be safe here and pick Alvin Kamara here. Ugh, that's fine. I really wanted Kenneth Walker, but I'll take Alvin Kamara.
Oof.
No, Kincaid is gone. That was the guy that I was gonna pick.
Was your backup Kyle Pitts? Because he just went too.
No, he's not a backup.
So Dalton Kincaid went, Zay Flowers went, and then Kyle Pitts went. So Colton, you're back on the
Okay.
clock.
So we need flex positions. We have our running backs, our wide receivers, and our tight end locked up. So we're here for flex play. That's what we're looking for. And
No flex. No.
flex play, we're looking for people who have high PPR upside, guys who are going to get a decent amount of targets, and that is already pretty scarce. I don't like what I'm seeing here.
Yeah, kind of a tough spot here.
I'm not a big fan of Cooper, Allen, Higgins. I think a few of them have had injury concerns, and I've already explained Higgins. The running backs at this position, Aaron Jones, I am looking at. He's becoming a bit of an age factor,
Yeah.
a bit of a problem there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
No,
absolutely.
for sure.
I think what I'm going to do, and it may come as a surprise, I'm going to take a wide receiver, and I'm really going to reach for a wide receiver here, okay? This is pick 66, and I'm going to reach all the way down to pick ADP of 79 for Calvin Ridley.
Ooh.
Wow.
And I know it's a reach.
How
A little bit of
really?
a reach,
Okay.
but I mean, if you want your guy, you got to go get your guy. I mean, that's the problem with Calvin Ridley to me is that he's on a team where wide receivers go to die. It seems like. I mean,
I know I'm one of the few people who believe this, but I actually think Will Levis is going to have a phenomenal year this year.
oh, I agree. Yeah, I think Will Levis is primed to have a good year, but I just feel like there's so much history with the Titans and like quarter or wide receivers just not excelling over there. But
Yeah,
that was also whenever they had Derrick Henry, so
that's true. It's a whole new
it's a
team.
whole
They've
new
revamped
team.
the offensive line. They have a new running back, a
Yeah,
young, I hope a brand new coach, and they paid him as the wide receiver one. I'm going to take the guy who has high volume, especially in the PPR format.
yeah. All right. Well, after you went, Anthony Richardson went, then Amari Cooper, then Aaron Jones. Now, Luis, you're back on the clock. You have Christian McCaffrey, Devon A. Chan, Josh Allen, DK Metcalf, and Devontae Smith.
All right, boys. My backup was here, so I'm gonna go and get my guy Jorge Kittle,
George Kittle, tight end, huh?
Got
and
some injury
then
issues.
Yeah,
yeah,
George
but
Kittle.
I think, but he still plays the majority of the snaps.
He
And
does.
honestly, with George Kittle, dude, he gets the ball when it's the most important. That man will not get a target for 3 quarters. When the
That's
last
true.
quarter or in the second quarter, man, that boy's getting targets up the a hole.
Yeah,
So
that's
okay, so
true.
this is where I was, kind of debating on.
To add to your point with George Kittle, I do feel like the news about Brandon Ayuk, if he does leave somewhere and goes like to a different team, I
Yeah, then
feel
that's
like
actually targets.
yeah, George Kittle is gonna be a massive upgrade. I feel like
Yeah,
um,
agreed.
George Kittle does get injured frequently, but I don't know. You can't really predict injuries, so but
But you can't account
Oh
for them,
yeah,
which is what I always do.
yeah. All right.
cool. So this is a tough one here. But I'm gonna go with my gut, and I think this guy is gonna be a really helpful flex for me. So I'm gonna go Mr. Higgies.
T. Higgins. So you went with the next running or wide receiver. And
Yep.
then after you
Number
got T.
52.
Higgins, Ramondre Stevenson went, Keenan Allen went, and then James Conner went. God,
I
I was
was
really
up
hoping.
between T. Higgins or James Conner.
I was really hoping Ramondre would come back to me.
Okay, so I need a quarterback and a flex. Those are the last two positions I'm missing. And it's no, I'm a little bit shocked to see that Joe Burrow is still there on the board for me if I wanted to take my quarterback now.
Yeah, you could go for Joe Burrow.
Yeah, I mean you got your boy Dak Prescott.
Yeah,
No, I have
Dak
no interest in
Prescott.
Dak.
Dak. So Cole, you decided to go with Joe Burrow. The other
Joe
guy you were
Burrow.
talking about was Justin Herbert. Is that what you said?
Yeah, Herbert, his position is so low. You can get him really, really low right now because we're doing a limited format where we're not grabbing guys beyond like just the starting roster. I'm not going to reach that low, and I'm just going to get the best quarterback in Joe Burrow. But I'm telling you, I think the value for him is it's too low for him to not pay off. So in most of my leagues, I'm targeting Herbert in just about every one of my leagues right now.
Mm,
Oh, Herbert's a
It
great
just makes too
choice.
much sense.
yeah. Yeah, that's
I
valid.
love Justin Herbert.
I mean, he's ranked below like Jared Goff, Brock Purdy, Jaden Daniels. He's ranked really low right now.
Yeah.
It's honestly criminal how low he's ranked.
I mean, he had one. I mean, I won't say bad season, but he definitely fell a little bit.
Well, he
But
was
I
injured.
mean,
I mean, he was injured, and we're
oh,
gonna
that too.
put Joe
His thumb.
Burrow, who's had two season-ending injuries. He's being drafted in the seventh round, and yet Herbert, who's had one season-ending injury, is being drafted as if he's quarterback 20. It's crazy.
hmm Well, you went Joe Burrow right after you. Christian Kirk went, then Najee Harris, then Roma Dunze. I'm on the clock now, and I need a tight end and a flex. I feel like if I don't go, I really want. Dang it, dude! I'm over
Come
here
on,
just like
man.
talking myself in circles right now. I feel like if I don't go my tight end here, I'm not gonna get a good tight end coming back. But I feel like I'm gonna lose out to one of these flex guys that are here. So sitting in front of me is David Montgomery, DeAndre Swift, Terry McLaurin, and then Evan Ingram. Um, so I don't want Terry McLaurin, and I'm afraid that's who I'm going to be stuck with. So I think I want to go. Man, I think I'm just gonna go with my gut here and go with DeAndre Swift,
Oh, you bastard!
and then see what happens, and then yeah,
You bastard!
and then Evan Ingram goes, and then Dak Prescott goes right after. So I didn't get Evan Ingram. I'm reaching for tight end like by a lot here. But I think I'm gonna go with my other guy that I'm pretty high on still, and that's David Njoku. So I'm gonna go with the Browns tight end there
Nice.
to
Ooh,
round
you
out
want
my draft.
you didn't want the rookie tight end.
Yeah, I don't want the rookie Brock Bowers. He doesn't really have a quarterback, so
Yeah, he's nothing.
he's really like just being thrown into the lion's den out there, and like it's gonna be tough. So right after I picked David Njoku, David Montgomery, Raheem Mostert, and then Kyler Murray go. So Colton, you're back on the clock, and you needed another flex.
I do. Now, normally in this situation, I wouldn't be drafting this aggressive because I'd be finding roster balance. But since this is just a mock for fun, I am not drafting how I normally would. Um, I'm going to go wide receiver because it's a PPR dual flex,
Yeah.
and they have higher upside than the running backs that are left on the board. In a normal situation here, I'd be taking a running back probably because it is another cliff dive here in a few picks, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But with that being said, I'm going to go with a risky guy who may face suspension. It's going to be Rashi Rice.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
He is the
That's
wide
and
receiver one on the best team in football. I know
yeah.
Xavier Worthy is the rookie and he's coming on and everything, but he still holds the top spot, and nothing has happened as far as a suspension yet. So I'm gonna rock with him.
Yeah, Rashi Rice. I knew he was going to be one of those players last year coming into the league that could have success in the NFL. Patrick Mahomes was all over this guy, and he was like vouching for him. I just like I'm worried that the suspension will like limit how much success he'll have this season. But yeah, I mean, if he doesn't get suspended, like that'd be great. So
Yeah, you don't really know with these things. Goodell seems to always take his time
mhm.
when it comes to suspending players. We saw it with Zeke. They normally wait right until the season starts, and then they put a suspension on him, and then they have to appeal it, and it takes a while. And then even if it's appealed, they can go on the commissioner's exempt list, like we saw with Zeke and Deshaun Watson.
Yeah,
So even if the league decides not to suspend him, Goodell can decide he's going to be suspended anyway.
right.
Not a situation you really want your wide receiver to be in, but obviously people are discounting him because of that. So it was in this case, if you're playing a regular league that only has one flex, he'd be the first player on your bench. As far as wide receiver goes, that situation I'm completely okay with because of his upside.
Right.
Yep.
Well, right after you pick Rasheed Rice, Zach Moss goes, and then Brock Bowers, then Jordan Love. So Luis, you're the last pick, and you just need a flex. It looks like.
Yeah. So I'm gonna agree with Cole on this one. Definitely go receiver. Just because with the PPR, a 1 yard pass is a point. You know. So and I feel like this is a steal. To me, this is a steal that I grabbed this guy right here. Godwin.
Chris Godwin.
His
I have to
Godwin.
agree, actually. Yeah, that is a crazy good steal.
Yeah.
Godwin.
So you round out you end the game or the mock draft with Chris Godwin on your team. I don't know about Chris Godwin this year. I mean, I feel like Baker Mayfield definitely has his favorite receiver in Mike Evans. And I feel like every time we talk about Chris Godwin, it's really underwhelming. So I don't know how I feel about Chris Godwin this year.
Well, I know he has already 3 seasons back to back with over 1,000 receiving yards. So he's going somewhere.
He's also very
My man,
injury prone.
my man's going somewhere.
So let's look back at our teams, everybody. Luis, go ahead and announce your team.
Okay, so I guess starting from top to bottom, we got Josh Allen as my QB, Christian McCaffrey as my RB1, and then this young stud Devon A. Chan as my running back two. Um,
You
I
wait,
definitely
hold
pick.
on, just real fast with HN. You're not worried about his size and the fact that he missed 7 games last year. That doesn't bother
No,
you.
no.
Okay.
It doesn't bother me just because he's clearly the RB1.
Yeah, totally
He's
agree.
gonna get his touches. He's gonna get his workload. People can talk about well, Mostert pretty much had the same points as him, or blah, blah, blah. But Mostert had a lot of the red zone carries. Achan had a lot of this, your midfield runs, and he will go off for 30, 40 plus yards for touchdown. But
Yep.
majority of the red zone was Mostert. But I mean, Achan is 22. He's gonna be a stud. He's so young, so I think he's gonna get all the workload. I think he's a really good pick.
See, Devon Achan to me, he's one of those guys where it just seems like people forget about Raheem Mostert, and I just don't understand really I understand how well he could be, but I just feel like he's one of those players where I can see Raheem Mostert picking up where he left off last year because Raheem Mostert finished as the number 3 running back last year. I don't know if you guys are aware, but
Oh, I'm fully aware.
he finished pretty high up there. So
No, he did. He did.
That was
um,
a once in a generation run that he had there. It will never happen again.
yeah, for
He's
sure,
31 years old,
he
and
is
he is the
older.
most injury prone running back in the NFL by far and away. I've looked up the stats on this. I'm a stats guy. His chance of re-injury within the first 5 weeks is 88.1% chance that he
Oh
injures
gosh.
himself.
No, yeah, I know of that. He might get injured again, but that doesn't mean that the Dolphins are just going to go away from Raheem Mostert. Like
If
they,
he's sidelined, they're not going to have a choice.
well,
He's
yeah,
10 years older than Devon Achan.
but they might start him still. Like they might just decide to start him still. Like they're not going to run away from Raheem Mostert. I know Devon Achan is the guy, like the upcoming guy, but like don't forget about Raheem Mostert. Like
He exists for the first 2 weeks until he gets injured, and then you don't have to worry about him.
That's what
That's
we
my
said.
point.
That's what we said last year too. We said that same thing about him last year, and
You're
he
right.
kept
If you want
playing.
to bank on the most injury-prone running back having 2 healthy seasons and not getting popped for PEDs, go ahead. I'm not doing it.
I'm not saying that I'm banking on him, and like he's obviously getting drafted like really late in the rounds, but I mean, just saying, like he's still there.
All right. And then my two running back receivers, DK Metcalf and Devontae Smith. Kind of wish I would got a little better receivers, but I am so happy with my running backs. I'm a quarterback, so I'm okay with them. Tight end George Kittle, two flexes, T Higgins and Chris Godwin.
Yeah, I feel like you were kind of backed into a wall with your wide receivers there. Like you after Devontae Smith, you kind of hit a drop there, so you needed to kind of get the next best available.
No, yeah.
And you got
I
two really
mean,
stud running backs. You got Christian McCaffrey too, so you
oh,
know,
so good,
you know.
so good.
Best of the best.
All right, let's go. Let's go to the team. Both
Okay.
in.
Okay. I think I actually have the best draft. Um, team would be at the quarterback, Joe Burrow, Joey Ice, as he's called. Which, by the way, did y'all see he has a buzz cut now?
Oh.
No.
Revenge season incoming. Running back, I have the best running back duo period in this draft. It's Brees Hall and Jonathan Taylor. In PPR, these boys are both monsters and they're insane. Um, wide receivers, Jalen Waddle and George Pickens, both a lesser tier than what most people have, but I'm happy because my running backs are going to carry this team. At my tight end, I have Taylor Swift's boyfriend, and at my flex, Calvin Ridley and Rashee Rice. Again, high upside guys who are going to have good target share as long as they stay on the field. Both of them have had their off field issues with gambling and racing, so hopefully they can stay on the field.
Yeah, I feel like George Pickens, as he's your later round pick, I feel like he's gonna end up being your wide receiver one, and Jalen Waddle will be your wide receiver two.
I don't disagree
Honestly.
with that, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm so high on Pickens this year, and his target share is going to be, I think, really strong. So
All right.
in PPR
Cole,
formats, he's a good pick.
Cole, can I say something for your
Yeah, go
team?
ahead.
I really think you screwed the pooch by getting JT.
Do you think I messed up by getting a top five running back?
I think you did, yeah. Because
Okay.
you're talking about his his PPR production whatever. The last 2 years it hasn't been that great, and if you look at what his rank was last year, he was 33.
Uh huh. Playing
So
with
I
Gardner
mean,
Minshew.
he's a running back. I mean, Gardner Minshew doesn't control how he runs the ball,
He
and
controls where the ball is passed to him.
oh yeah, but I saw a lot of JT's highlights. He definitely was okay. Like Gardner Minshew threw the ball at him like pretty adequate. If you want Gardner Minshew to throw a 6 yard bomb, good luck, buddy. I don't know. This to me. I'm staying away from JT. I am not picking him at all.
The one thing I'll
He's
give you with JT is he did have some injuries last year. He was gone for 3 games, but the reason why his numbers look bad is he held out at the beginning of the year. If y'all don't recall, he held out till he received his contract. I think he had like a 2 year deal. Um, so his numbers are going to look worse than they actually are. I do think with Anthony Richardson being a running threat, it's going to take a little bit of the pressure off. They re signed Michael Pittman. I think it's a solid team. And again, if you look at the guys who went after this, it's Devontae Adams, Drake London, Brandon Ayuk. I think the caliber of running back that I got versus the caliber of wide receiver, I got an elite guy versus a potentially elite guy. And I'm always going to take the talent that is guaranteed over the talent that could be in this situation, even if there's an injury risk.
Yeah, that's something that
true.
I was
Yeah.
about to. That's what I was about to say too. Is like after you pick Jonathan Taylor, I feel like there's a significant teardrop in running back. So the next best available would have been Devon Achan, and then Travis Etienne. And I feel like Jonathan Taylor is in that upper elite tier, um, with like
So
Kyron Williams and
I'm
Saquon Barkley and those guys.
Yeah.
So I do feel like JT was probably the best option there. So I agree that that was probably the best thing that you could have done. So I
Yeah,
do
and I
agree.
have the best stack in Brees Hall and Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor as your RB2 is what most people would dream of.
Right.
That's dream scenario for most.
Yeah. I don't think you're gonna regret taking that. And then you also got Travis Kelsey too at the third pick, so I feel like that one's a pretty underrated like pick as well. So you're gonna probably love Travis Kelsey there as well.
Safe floor, man. That's what I'm all about in this league. Safe floors. I
Yeah.
draft safe, and it always gets me to the playoffs. Now it always bites me in the butt because I never win, but I normally always make it to the playoffs because I grab guys who have very safe floors.
All right. Well, I will end the podcast with my team. So I ended up getting Jalen Hurts in the third round. My running backs are Isaiah Pacheco and Alvin Kamara. My wide receivers are AJ Brown with the stack with Jalen Hurts and Garrett Wilson. My tight end is David Njoku. My flex positions are Tank Dell and DeAndre Swift. So I think really the main thing that I wanted here was the stack with Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown. Like that was really
That's unbeatable.
that was so focused on getting that. I felt like I had to reach a little bit for Jalen Hurts there.
Hmm.
And then in a PPR format, I feel like Alvin Kamara is a cheat code kind of, and to get him in the sixth round is probably the best value that I probably could have gotten. He is an aging running back though, so that is probably a downfall with Alvin Kamara. But I mean, I do have Isaiah Pacheco as well, and I'm pretty high on Isaiah Pacheco as well. So he's another one of those guys that can probably grind it out. Probably doesn't get involved as much in the passing game, but they did get rid of McKinnon over there, so that is one less running back to worry about over there on the Kansas City Chiefs. Garrett Wilson, I'm kind of iffy on. I really wanted somebody like, let me see who was there. I don't remember
Justin
actually.
Jefferson.
Yeah, Justin Jefferson. I
You
would have
wanted
loved.
someone like Justin
I
Jefferson.
would have. I would have liked for Puka Nakua to fall to me around there, but I mean that's kind of unreasonable. But that's fine. I'll get the next best available, which is Garrett Wilson. Hopefully he'll be better with Aaron Rodgers there. I feel like Garrett
and healthy
Wilson
Aaron Rodgers.
is healthy Aaron Rodgers for sure. Um, but yeah, so I'm pretty happy with my team here. David Njoku was a big reach for me. I feel like I probably could have gotten him way later, but being a like mock draft where we had to get these positional players, I had to get him there, and I think he was the best available after Evan Ingram. Tank Dell, he's the best Texans wide receiver to me, in my opinion. And I got him in the sixth round almost, so I think he was a pretty good value pick there. And then just taking a shot on DeAndre Swift here, honestly, like
That's a good pick.
I don't really think too
I
much
think that's a
about
good
him
pick.
there, but yeah,
I mean, no
I
one
mean,
knows what
he
that
did
team
really
is going
good.
to be. They've added so many pieces in Chicago. It's impossible to know what production or really anything. You changed the quarterback, the wide receivers, the running back. You changed everything.
yeah,
There's no telling what his volume is going to be or how he's even used.
right. But
I think he did really good over them. That's a really good pick. I was gonna get him, but you stole him.
The
You
potential
stole
is going to
me.
be there if he can stay healthy.
I mean, he
He
was
did
really,
not stay healthy when he was with
Yeah,
Detroit.
yeah, for sure. He was really good with the Eagles though. Like with the games that he did
He
play
was.
on the Eagles, like he was dominant. I feel like so.
That scares me a little because that tells me that it's the offensive line and not the player. His durability is a problem. The
Yeah,
offensive line was the best in football. debatably between that and San Francisco with the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have giant holes to run through, it becomes a lot easier, and those are going to tighten way up over in Chicago. So they're building a solid line there. It's just going to take a little more time. And with an injury-prone running back, he's going to take some hits.
For sure.
So tough one.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and like you said, there's so much new over there. Like everything is pretty new, so it's kind of hard to gauge what he's going to do and what he's going to produce over there. So
yeah,
I'm just really taking a gamble with DeAndre Swift. So
yeah.
But
I mean, at that pick, like you said, you can't beat the value there.
Yeah.
You know.
And I got Isaiah Pacheco and Alvin Kamara. Those guys can
solid guys.
Those guys can, I guess, take the majority of the hits, I guess, on running back. So
exactly.
But all right, well, I think that's gonna do it for us today, everybody. We are done with this mock draft. If you liked it, feel free to comment as to whose team you think is the better team. Feel free to share our podcast with nobody because you want the edge. So don't share our podcast.
Yep.
I love it.
Keep it to yourself.
All right.
Gatekeep people.
All right, everybody. Well, we'll see you guys later. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Halftime Adjustments podcast. Feel free to email us just your questions in general. We will literally answer anything. So yeah, we'll see you guys
Stay
later.
Groovy, my friends. Stay groovy, my friends.
Adios, amigos. You guys like that? You guys
That's
like
good.
That?
That's your best one.
Should I start saying that from here on out?
Yeah, you need to end every episode needs to be ended with that.
Adios, amigos.
Adios.
Adios.